year ago, August, my mother-in-law fell. She'd been falling frequently. She was in her own apartment, independent, 82-year-old woman. And she refused to wear her little button that my husband and I got her. And she fell and she broke her pelvic bone in 6 places. She was hospitalized. She went to a rehab facility, and then her oldest son and my husband decided that she needed more supervision, some care, and we moved her into assisted living. That was a year ago, September. So for 20 years, she lived by herself. Her husband, a World War II Marine combat vet, had passed away. She'd been living on her own in her apartment, taking adventures, seeing people, active, many friends and family here in the state of Minnesota. And we moved her, like I said, to assisted living. And she was locked in, not able to go anywhere. She could, she was ambulatory. She called up a cab, whatever. Couldn't do that. Visitors, if anyone did come, she was told she'd be in quarantine for 2 weeks. My husband, deathly afraid that any one of her grandchildren or great-grandchildren visiting would kill her just by visiting, warned family and friends not to go visit. She was told not to leave. We were able finally to visit her. I had brought N95 masks for all of us to wear because I am a prepper and I have them. And she was from here to you away from us. She had a mask on. She kept fidgeting with it. It did not fit her. Number one prevention of infection is hand washing. So she was touching her face constantly, and I asked her just to put it down. We were on surveillance cameras, and they came out and told us that she needed to put it on. And I said, well, she needs one that fits. They brought out a new one. It was homemade, it was paper. And I don't know about you guys, but paper masks, cloth masks do not prevent a small little virus from leaving your face and infecting anybody. They are ridiculous. You need a hazmat suit for a virus. Again, hand washing is the number one form of infection prevention. She was finally able to leave the state of Minnesota. Her sister-in-law picked her up and flew her to Arizona, where she stayed for 2 weeks. Her youngest son in Utah, knowing that his mother was locked up in the state, decided to drive to Arizona and has permanently removed her from the state. She has let go of her lease, and she is not coming back. She doesn't want to come back to this place ever again, and she is now currently safe, and I'm very, very happy for her. I wanted to talk about too some things that as a nurse, I know when you enter a hospital or a nursing home or a long-term care, you are considered a vulnerable adult just by walking in and seeking treatment. With that being said, if you are now a long-time resident in a nursing home and you have multiple health issues, you are even more vulnerable. There was a study done by, I forget the name of it, but they took some healthy people and they did some sensory deprivation, thank you, experiments on these young guys. And they were able to prove, after it is well documented, that a normal young adult undergoing 8 hours period of sensory deprivation may experience an acute psychotic reaction followed by a continuation of delusions for several days and severe depression and anxiety for a period of several weeks. Those are healthy people that they did this to in 1968 that study came from. So the healthcare profession knows what it does. They knew what they were doing, and this is despicable. That's all I really had to say. I was going to mention some more about the statistics of COVID, but someone had talked about those earlier. Again, hand washing is the #1 form of infection prevention.